Hello, yoga friends. Good afternoon. I think it's afternoon. Yeah, it's afternoon now. Welcome to today's Vinyasa flow class. So this class should be about 45 minutes. I can't promise it won't be a little bit longer, but my goal is around 45 minutes. Today's class is going to be a twisting based class. So it's said that twisting is really good for digestion and twisting is good for low back pain. As always, I'm here to guide you, but you be your own best teacher. So I'm going to give cues and modifications. Do what's right for your body, please. It's not a contest. Like I've said before, our yoga is something that helps us strengthen and stretch, and it keeps us in the game, so to speak, in terms of being able to continue working out and just to be able to continue to live life into the best with improved posture, with improved core strength, and of course, with improved mental flexibility. So we're going to start today's class in a cross-legged seat, and if you have a block or a blanket, sometimes it feels really good in your hips to sit up on your block. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on my block. So, situate your tush, decide which leg feels best out in front, crossed, and then go ahead and bring your hands to your shins. So you have two options here. Palms facing up, which just means you're ready to receive. You're ready to take in whatever's coming towards you. Or if you've had a hectic, crazy morning and maybe you just need to draw it into yourself before you start this practice, bring your palms facing down and that's really grounding. So go ahead and close your eyes and decide where you want to place your palms, how you want them. And then once you put your palms down on your hips, whether up or down, go ahead and draw your shoulders up towards your ears, draw them back, and then loop them down into their sockets. Let's do that one more time. And this time, let's do it with a breath. So with a nice deep inhale, go ahead and draw your shoulders up towards your ears. And as you exhale, loop them down and back into their sockets and hug your elbows back towards each other. Now settle in, lengthen your spine, grow the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. And let's take some cleansing breaths together, just arriving here in our space today. Through the nose, nice deep inhale. So bring that breath into the very bottom lobes of your lungs, so much so that your belly expands, your rib cage expands, those intercostal muscles between your ribs expand. Hold the breath at the top. And an open mouth exhale, beginning from your diaphragm. Draw your belly button back and up to help expel that air. Again, deeper, fuller inhale, creating even more space in your body with each sip of air. And with your open mouth exhale, just think of letting go as you empty out completely. Let go of anything that doesn't need to be on this mat with you today. And that's basically anything other than your body and maybe your block. Again, deepest, fullest inhale yet. Drawing in that breath until you feel like you cannot take in another sip of air. And then take in just one tiny more sip. And an open mouth exhale, empty it out, let go. Let the weight off your shoulders. And when you feel like you're empty, sigh out just the tiniest sip more of air. Now, if Ujjayi breath is in your practice, seal your lips closed and continue those deep filling inhales and emptying exhales with sealed lips. Slightly constrict the muscles in the back of your throat to create an audible sound with each exhale. And with each exhale, imagine there's a little mirror underneath your nose, between your lip and your nose, and you fog it up. And just begin to create some space, some heat with each inhale and with each exhale. Ultimately, a goal would be an inhale for a count of 5, exhale for a count of 5. Perhaps it's longer for you, and it's Completely okay if it's not that long. It's a practice, something we continue to show up for. And some days are going to be different than others. Just do your best with where you're at today. On your next inhale, go ahead and blink your eyes open. If you're sitting on a block or a pillow or whatever it might be, just go ahead and put it off towards the side. And we're going to switch the cross of our legs. Take a nice deep inhale breath, sit up, go ahead and walk your right hand out to the side. Keep your left hip on the mat, and then inhale, left arm up and over, maybe bending deeper into that right elbow. So my chest is going forward, my shoulder blades are coming back. So I don't know if you can see that left thumb is coming back, and then I'm lifting my gaze up towards that left thumb. Inhale, come back up, switch out the arms. Left palm finds the earth in line with your left hip. Bend into the left elbow, and then inhale, right hand up, draw your right thumb back. Snuggle your shoulder blades in towards one another to press your chest open, and then grow length along both side bodies. Inhale, come back through center. Take an exhale breath here, and with your inhale, circle sweep your arms up overhead, coming in for a twist. Twist towards your right as you exhale. Left hand finds right knee, right hand to the mat behind you. You can tent up onto those right fingertips, hook that right shoulder down and back into its socket, and grow the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Inhale back through center. Use your core as you extend those arms up. And our exhale breath finds our twist over to the left. So right hand comes to the outside of the left knee. Left hand comes to the base of the spine, probably out a few inches. Again, loop that left shoulder down into its socket. Think of creating space between your vertebra and then twisting from your belly button. So the twist isn't happening from the low back, it's coming from the belly button. And then inhale, arms overhead. And then as you exhale, we're going to come into a neutral tabletop position. So continuing our spinal warm up here, make sure that your joints are organized. Stack your shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. Toes can be tucked or untucked. Inhale, cow pose, lift your gaze, melt your belly, spread your collarbones wide. And exhale, tuck around and curl, cat pose. Press the earth away from you. Press into your shins as you draw your chin in towards your chest. Inhale, cow. Pull back isometrically with your palms. Open up your collarbone even more as your shoulder blades squeeze together. Lift your tailbone. Exhale, tuck around and curl. Guide your tailbone down towards the earth and see how high you can lift that spot between your shoulder blades up towards the ceiling. One more round. Inhale, cow pose. Melt your belly. Make your collarbones smile. And exhale, scaredy cat. Tuck around and curl, channeling that Halloween cat. Inhale back to center. Pull your belly button back towards your spine. Engage the muscles that run along your spine. Engage the muscles that are in your core. Take an inhale breath. You can tuck your left toes. Extend your right leg straight back out of that right hip. On your next inhale breath, extend your left arm so that your bicep is in line with your ear. Take an exhale here. Pull your belly button back towards your spine. Inhale, reach even further from those left fingertips to the right heel. Continue breathing here as you press the earth away with your right hand and continue finding that length from your heel to your fingertips. One more inhale. Keep your leg where it is. Exhale, bring your left hand down. Bring your left foot up right foot up and over to the left. Tap the toes. Squeeze the right glute, bring the right foot back. Let's do that 2 more times. Squeeze the right glute, drop the right toes over towards the left as you keep your shoulders facing the front of your mat. Slow, like we're moving through mud. One more time, squeeze the right glute, lift from the right heel. And this time as we drop the right toes over to the left, we're going to release the whole ball of the foot over to the left. So my shoulders are both facing towards the top of my mat. I'm pressing my right heel up towards my left shoulder, and I'm going to gaze back towards my right foot for a nice side body stretch here. Continue to slow your breath. If it feels good, you can bring your ribs on the left closer back towards your left hip. But if it's a deep enough stretch, keeping that side body nice and long, keep your side body nice and long. Inhale, come back to tabletop, and exhale. One breath, child's pose. Just give your shoulders a little bit of a break here. Inhale back up to our tabletop, getting ready for the second side. Take an exhale, pull your belly button back towards your spine. Extend your left leg straight back out of your left hip. Line up your heel and your hip. And inhale, extend your right fingertips forward, right bicep in line with your ears. So continue to spiral that outer left hip down by imagining that you're lifting through the inseam of that left leg with your left toes flexed back towards your left knee. Draw your right shoulder down into its socket as you simultaneously extend those right fingertips forward. Pull your low belly in as you press back through that left heel. Find your focus point. Breathe. And exhale. Right hand comes back under right shoulder. Exhale. Left toes touch the right side of your mat. Squeeze your left glute. Come back. Drop the left toes to the left side of the mat. Exhale. Squeeze the left glute. Inhale as the left toes find the right side of the mat. One more time. Back to the left. Really squeeze. Initiate the movement from the outer left hip as you lift the left toes up and over to the right and bring the ball of the left foot to the mat. So think about pressing the inner left heel up towards your right shoulder. Now keeping your shoulders squared to the front of your mat, begin to shift your gaze back towards that left foot. So feeling a deep opening in the left side body and even into the right IT band. And again, if it feels good to shorten the distance between your shoulder and your hip on the right, draw yourself back. Otherwise, keep the length and gaze back. Inhale. Extend the legs straight back behind you, and our exhale finds us in child's pose for one more breath. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Inhale, come up to your hands and knees, and as you exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. So pedaling out your feet here, anything that feels good. I always like to take a shift forward, finding that wave movement along my spine, coming into a high plank just to make sure that I'm set up correctly. And then press back into that downward facing dog. So with a nice deep bend in your knees, you can find the length along your spine that we want to create in our dog. Keeping that length, begin to straighten your legs. Biceps are in line with the ears. The triceps spiral back, so like you could lift your thumbs and notice how your triceps spiral back and your biceps spiral forward. Keeping that alignment, bring your thumb back to the mat and press into that spot between your thumb and your forefinger. So finding some steadiness in your dog as your heels come closer towards the earth. Take an inhale breath, come way up onto your tippy toes. And as you exhale, pivot so that your heels come over to the left and press back and up into that twisted downward facing dog. Inhale back through center. And exhale, heels find the right side of the mat as you give a really good press into your left hand. Inhale, come back through center. Take an exhale, lift the backs of your hips even higher. Inhale, gaze forward, and exhale, step your feet behind your hands. Ragdoll pose. So a nice deep bend in your knees, maybe even rest your belly on your thighs, and then find opposite pinky to the crook of the opposite elbow, or you can bring opposite thumb to opposite elbow. Pull your elbows down towards the earth. Let your head hang nice and heavy. Maybe nod yes, nod no, and then begin to straighten into your legs as much as feels good to you and you can do without rounding your low back. If you're able to straighten your legs entirely, shift the weight towards your toes. Otherwise, just keep the weight evenly distributed between all four corners of each foot. On an exhale, bring your fingertips to center, and then keep your feet either hip width distance apart if you have any low back sensitivity, or just toe heel, big toes in together to touch, and slowly roll up to standing. And as you arrive, take an inhale breath, draw your shoulders up towards your ears, and as you exhale, loop your shoulders down and back into their sockets. Bring your thumbs out, pinkies in, opening up the shoulders. Inhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Bring those fingertips up. And exhale, pull it to center, Samastitihi. Thumbs at heart space, palms in prayer. Take a nice deep inhale here of acceptance for yourself. And with your exhale, let go of any negative self-talk. Inhale, arms up, Tadasana, mountain pose. And exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Hinge from your hips, fingertips to the earth, neck, or chin in towards chest. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, fingertips either on the earth or on your shins as you pull your belly button back towards your spine and you channel that cow pose in your chest. Exhale, fold, plant your palms, step back to our first official high plank of the class. And let's settle in here. So shoulders directly over the wrists. All 10 fingers are spread nice and wide, and I'm really pressing between my thumb and my forefinger into the mat. Shoulders draw back away from the ears. Pull your belly button back towards your spine and draw your pelvic floor in. Squeeze your glutes and find a slight tuck under in your butt. So it's not an Instagram butt, it's an ugly butt for this pose. And then press through your heels towards the wall behind you. Hold here for 2 more breaths, or inhale, right palm to left shoulder, exhale, lower. Inhale, left palm to right shoulder, exhale, lower. And then inhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, gaze forward, empty out. Nice deep bend in the knees. And then exhale, step forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Draw the belly button back towards the spine. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, Tadasana, mountain pose. And exhale, Samastitihi, palms to heart center, draw it to yourself. Take a nice deep inhale breath of gratitude for yourself for showing up on your mat today. It's the hardest part. And with your exhale, just create a little bit of space in your mind. Circle sweep the arms up. Inhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Let's get this thing moving. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your palms, step back, high plank, top of a push-up. Organize your joints, shoulders over wrists. Firm up belly, glutes, quads. Take an inhale breath, squeeze your right glute, lift your right leg away from the mat. Exhale, lower those right toes. Inhale, squeeze your left glute, lift your left leg. Exhale, lower the left toes. Gaze forward on your inhale and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, empty out, bend your knees, step your feet behind your hands, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, Tadasana, mountain pose. Exhale, Samasthita, thumbs to heart center. Inhale, circle sweep the arms, Tadasana, mountain pose. And exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, high plank. Inhale, shift forward from your knees or from your toes. Exhale, Chaturanga. Pin your elbows into your side, 90-degree bend in the elbows. Hover the upper body. Inhale, shift to your toes. Upward facing dog. Pull your palms back, spread your collarbones, press your chest forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep inhale through the nose. Deep exhale through the nose. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, bend your knees, empty your air, step your feet behind your hands, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Sit your weight way back in your hips, into your heels rather. Draw your hips back. Imagine you're pressing your shins back. You can even bring your fingertips to your hip points to guide them back. Drop your butt and then extend your arms out, shoulder height, thumbs up, pinky slightly turned in towards one another. And notice how your shoulders drop into their sockets. If you can keep them in that same shape, in their sockets, then go ahead and begin to peel your fingertips up towards the sky with your biceps in line with your ears. Focus on hugging those inner knees, inner thighs in together. One more inhale and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, step back, high plank, top of a push-up. From your knees or from your toes, inhale, shift forward. Exhale, Chaturanga, or lower all the way to your belly for Cobra. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg straight back out of your right hip. Press your palms, your fingertips into the mat as you lengthen your heel away from your fingertips. Exhale, breath, right knee to left tricep. Inhale, lengthen your right leg. Exhale, step your right foot up towards your right thumb. Low lunge. Plant your left palm underneath your left shoulder. Bring your right thumb to your right shoulder. Peel your right shoulder open. Extend your fingertips up towards the sky. Simple twist. Continue to draw your chest forward as your tailbone draws back and lift the backs of your hips. Reach those right fingertips up just a bit higher. And exhale, bring the right hand down to the outside of the right foot. Inhale, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Take a bend in your back left knee. Hover it off the mat or drop it onto the mat. Make sure that your right knee is stacked over your right ankle. Draw your right hip back, left hip forward, and then straighten into that back left knee. Let's do that a couple more times. Take an inhale, find length along your spine. Exhale, bend the back knee. Keep the back heel up. Inhale, straighten the back leg. If this hurts either of your knees, just hold your crescent lunge here. Inhale, bend the left knee. Exhale, straighten the left leg. One more time. Inhale, bend the left knee. Exhale, straighten the left leg. Inhale. Exhale, windmill your palms. Step back, high plank, top of a push-up. Flow through your vinyasa or meet us in downward facing dog. Inhale, ground your right foot, lift your left leg. Slightly pigeon toe those left toes in towards the midline of your body. Flex your toes back towards your knee. Exhale, left knee to right tricep. How high up can you tap that? Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, step your left foot up by your left thumb. Feet are hip width distance apart. Railroad tracks, not tight ropes. Preparing for crescent lunge. Take a bend in that back knee and either drop it entirely to the mat or keep it hovering off the mat. Lift your right hip up and forward as you draw your left hip back. Bring those fingertips overhead, pinky slightly turned in towards one another. Gaze can be forward or up. Inhale, straighten into that back right leg. Exhale, very tiny movement. Lower that back knee to the mat. Inhale, lengthen. 2 more times. Exhale, bend and lower. Inhale, lengthen. Straighten. Exhale, bend and lower. Inhale, lengthen and straighten. Exhale, windmill your palms. Step back, high plank, top of a push-up, your vinyasa, or downward facing dog. Let's do that one more time, mixing it up just a tiny bit. Inhale, gaze forward between your thumbs. Exhale, empty out, bend your knees, step your feet behind your hands, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, hug your shoulder blades together and down towards the backs of your hips. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. Drop your hips, pull your low belly in. Exhale, revolved chair pose. Left elbow comes to the outside of the right knee, palms to come together at heart space. So that left knee tends to jet forward. Pull it back and pull your hips back. Continue to slow your breath and use your breath to help you manage the space between your emotions and your reactions. This might not be your favorite posture, and that's okay, but just breathe. Breathe before you react. Inhale, knees stay the same. Come back through center. And exhale, hook right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Draw your thumbs to heart center. Bring your right knee in line with your left. Drop your hips and gaze out towards the left. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, forward fold, release. Oh, feels so good. Inhale, lift halfway. Find length from the tip of your spine to the crown of your head. And exhale, vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step your right foot through. Inhale, crescent lunge. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, lengthen your side body. Exhale, knit your front ribs down towards your pelvis. Windmill your palms. Step back, high plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's do the left side. Inhale, extend your left leg. Exhale, step your left foot by your left hand. I realize we forgot our twist on the other side, so we'll do it here. Plant your right palm underneath your right shoulder. Lift the backs of your hips. Guide your right hip forward, left hip back. Left thumb to the front of the left shoulder. Peel open, simple twist. So we want our shoulders squeezing in, hugging in towards one another, peeling open in this twist. So the movement in the twist is from the belly button and up, not the low back. Exhale, bring your left hand down, and inhale on Vinyasa, crescent lunge. Imagine that you're pressing that front left foot into the mat, pulling your front heel back as you're pulling your back toes forward. Fire up those inner thighs. And exhale, release your hands. Step back, high plank. This time we're going to come into a side plank. So thumbs underneath your heart space to touch. Step your feet in towards one another. Roll to the pinky edge of your left foot. So the more we can work the sole of that left foot onto the mat, the more stability we find here in this side plank. You want to have both hips facing forward. We don't want anything tilting towards the floor. We want it facing the wall. So like we had headlights on our hips and they're facing the wall. If this is too much, you bring that left leg down. Otherwise, create even more of a rainbow in your side body here. Lift your obliques, and if you'd like to take it further into fallen star, lift that right leg, right arm overhead. Wherever we're at, one more inhale, lift, exhale, lower, high plank, and shift to the other side. So right side, Vashisthasana, side plank, right shoulder directly over right wrist. Create that arc, rainbow in your side body. Hips stacked, facing the left side of the room. Option to drop your right knee to the mat or take it into fallen star where you work basically the entire sole of the right foot onto the mat. Lift a little bit higher. Inhale. And exhale. Chaturanga or downward facing dog. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. And exhale, walk your feet through, coming into a seat, but not getting too comfy. Okay, so take a breath. Catch your breath. Grab a sip of water if you need. And when you're ready, meet me in Navasana boat pose. So creating a nice long backside body. Start out by bringing your palms behind your thighs, dropping your shoulders. I was going to say drooping, but I was going to say looping your shoulders back and dropping them into their sockets, but my words got all mixed up. But that's okay, I got it. And then begin to peel your toes. Wow, I was gonna say peel your fingers, your toes away from the mat. Pull your low belly in and draw your top ribs down so that your low abs are coming up, top abs coming down. Extend your arms out. And if you can keep that length in your spine, straighten into your legs. And if not, your knees are bent. Wherever you're at, wherever you're supposed to be. If your legs are straight, try flexing your toes out. It takes some of the pressure out of our hip flexors. Inhale, lift a little bit higher. Exhale, contract your abs. Inhale, and then exhale. Slowly lower onto your back. Give yourself a big hug. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Inhale, extend your legs straight up. Fingertips behind your ears. Exhale, lift your head, neck, and shoulders off the mat. Take an inhale. Exhale, hover your right leg. Your right fingertips reach for the outside of your left leg. You see my leg shaking? It's shaking. Point your toes like Barbie. Inhale, come back through center, fingertips behind the ear, both toes, all 10 toes lifted. Exhale, opposite direction. Hover the left leg as you reach your left fingertips to the outside of your right knee. Inhale, bring it back through center. And exhale, twist and reach towards that left foot. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist and reach. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist and reach. One more each side. Inhale, center. Let's see if we can lift the head, neck, and shoulders, the bottom of the shoulder blades off the mat. Inhale, come through center. And exhale, reach. Inhale, center. Hug the knees into the chest. A little bit of compression, a little bit of a release for the hip flexors. And just roll side to side or draw little circles with your low back. So we're going to come into bridge pose here. And if you still have that block or pillow or blanket or whatever you were sitting on at the beginning of class, go ahead and bring it between your knees, your inner thighs, and then bring your heels in towards your glutes. Reach your fingers down, your arms down by your side, and you should be able to touch your heels with your fingers. Take an inhale breath and begin to lift your hips away from the mat so the front of your hips lift up towards the ceiling. Continue to reach your fingertips towards your heels, or begin to bring your palms together, interlace your fingers underneath your back and press into the tops of your shoulders as you squeeze your block and lift your hips even higher. So I'm hugging my outer hips in, my outer glutes, but I'm not necessarily squeezing my entire butt here. It's more of a press through my heels, a lift through my front body. One more inhale. Exhale, slowly lower. Go ahead and remove the block. Put it off to the side. How are we doing on time? Cross your ankles. Rock and roll the length of your spine 2 or 3 times. And meet me in downward facing dog. So either flow through your vinyasa or back to downward facing dog. Ground your left foot. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, right foot up by the right fingertips rather. Spin your back heel flat and inhale, rise, warrior 2. So heel to arch alignment, pressing through the pinky edge of each foot. Engage the muscles in your back left leg, and as you press into the pinky edge of that foot, your left thigh is going to spiral slightly in towards the left, so that left hip hugs under. Right thigh, we want to think of spiraling open. So the right knee is pressing out towards the right pinky, and then find that slight scoop under in your tailbone so that these hip points lift up towards your low ribs. Extend your arms out. Find a soft gaze over those right fingertips. Inhale, reverse warrior. Walk your left fingertips down your left leg. Right fingertips lift to create this nice stretch down the entire right side body. And if you have it in your practice, reach those right fingertips even further back. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, extended side angle. Right elbow comes to the inside of the right knee. Press the right knee open. Maybe you bring your right hand to your right ankle. Again, continue hugging the hips under. Stay nice and straight and strong in your back leg. Inhale, warrior 2. Straighten that front right leg. Walk your back foot in about a foot. Tuck your hips under. Lengthen out of your side body. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. So very similar to extended side angle here, we're finding a lot of length along the side body. The front leg is straight. I'm hugging the quadricep to the bone, which lifts my kneecap, and it almost draws my femur up into that hip socket. Ultimately, left shoulder stacked directly over right shoulder, which means left fingertips are stacked directly over right fingertips. If you have a block, this is an excellent place to use that block. You can bring your hand in the block either to the outside or to the inside of that leg, I feel like it gives me a lot more space, opens up my backside body more. Gaze down at the ground, inhale, come up, warrior two. Left arm underneath the right, coming into eagle arms. Gaze up, and now remember, find space between our emotion and our reaction here when I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to come up, and as gracefully as we can, and that might look like left toes come up next to right. That might mean left leg comes up over right. Kickstand the toes, tuck the left toes behind the right calf. Garudasana, eagle pose. Sit low into your right heel. Guide your hip creases back. And think about your back being flat against a wall. Option to bring palms to opposite shoulder. Sit a bit lower. Press your shins back. And inhale, unwind. Tadasana, mountain pose. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. And exhale, Vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, step your left foot between your hands. Spin your back foot flat. Circle the arms up. Warrior two. So strengthen the legs. Squeeze the quadriceps. Now, draw your shoulder blades into their sockets. Hug them there like you're hugging a pencil between your shoulder blades. And then imagine that I'm on one end of your fingers, maybe at your left fingertips, and someone else is at your right fingertips, pulling them apart as you continue to squeeze that pencil between your shoulder blades. Inhale, reverse warrior. Swim it back. Stretch the left side body. Exhale, walk those right fingertips down the right leg even more. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle. Legs stay exactly the same. Left ribs spiral up, right ribs spiral back. Maybe that left hand finds the left ankle. If you can, gaze up towards your right thumb. Inhale, warrior two. Straighten your front leg, walk your back foot in, but keep the toes slightly pigeon-toed and heel to arch alignment. Exhale, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Squeeze the quadricep, press the left big toe into the mat, and tick-tock your arms. All the while, opening up, drawing that right thumb back, opening your chest. Lengthen along your left side body as much as your right. Gaze down at your left foot. Inhale, bend into the left knee. Come up. Warrior two. Right arm underneath your left. Cross at your wrist and your elbow. Preparing for eagle pose. Lift your elbows in line with your shoulders. Remember, option to give yourself a nice big hug, palms to shoulders. Gaze up towards your left foot, and as gracefully as you can, we're going to come up into eagle pose. Either kickstanding the right toes, or woo, got a little wobbly. That's okay. I'm going to try again. Kickstanding those right toes behind the left leg. And then find your drishti, your focus point. Sit a little bit lower. Continue drawing your elbows forward. Draw your knees over towards the left. We have a tendency for that left hip to come over to the right. One more inhale. Unbind, Tadasana, mountain pose. And exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, Vinyasa. Our final Vinyasa for our class today. Inhale, upward facing dog. And And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward, and exhale, come through onto your bottom. Have a seat. Extend your legs long, arms out, shoulder height, and then using your core, roll down as slowly as you can, one vertebra at a time, to lying on your back. Once you arrive, hug your knees into your chest. They can be hip width or they can be inner thighs touching. It's up to you. And we're going to come into a figure four here. So cross your right ankle at the front of your left leg, and then either bring your palms behind your left thigh or palms to the front of your left shin. Think about maintaining the connection between your tailbone and the mat, between the backs of your shoulders and the mat, and between your head and the mat. So if your shoulders are crunching up towards your ears, maybe you bring your left hand behind your left thigh and your right hand to the inside of your right knee. Do what's right to keep yourself aligned. And then think about opening that outer right hip. Maybe pull your left knee in towards your left shoulder a bit. Feel a deeper opening as you do that in the outer right hip. Gently release your left foot to the mat. Keep your right foot, right knee exactly as they are. Cactus your elbows and begin to take a twist over towards the left. So my outer left knee and the sole of my right foot are coming to the mat, or to the floor rather, on the left side. I still have that figure four with my right leg, and I'm gazing out towards my right shoulder. Close your eyes. Breathe. Inhale, slowly come back through center. Uncross the right leg, hug the knees into the chest. Reset, re-neutralize your spine. Cross your left ankle at your right knee. And then maintaining those connections with the backside body and the mat, come into whichever expression is best for you. And again, once you settle in, see if you can pull that right knee in just a bit more and gently guide that left knee open just a bit more. Keep all 10 toes flexing back towards the knees. Should feel a nice deep opening in your outer left hip and that piriformis muscle. It's this teeny tiny little muscle. It tends to cause a whole lot of trouble. So sometimes you might notice that you feel almost sciatic-like pain down the back of your leg and into your low back, and oftentimes it's that piriformis muscle just gets so tight and it wraps around the rest of the muscles. So this figure four on our back, pigeon pose, warrior two, triangle, any of those postures are such great hip openers. They really help to open up that piriformis muscle. Okay, exhale, cactus arms, bring your right foot down to the mat, begin to twist, gaze towards the left, right knee, and left foot to the right side of your mat. So maybe give a little press into the back of your head, snuggle your shoulder blades in towards one another, gaze towards the left, keep your belly button up towards the ceiling. And then think about your left knee here. Can you nudge it, guide it just a little bit more towards the left corner of your mat. Just continuing that stretch as we twist. And then inhale, press into the outside edge, then the sole of your right foot. Come back up to center. Unbind the legs, hug the knees in towards your chest, and let's stir the pot, which is taking a few circles towards the left, and then a few circles towards the right. Go ahead and extend your left leg nice and long. So hug the muscles in that left leg to the bone, flex the toes back towards the knee. And then imagine that you're stamping that left heel against a wall or some other hard surface to keep the muscles engaged in that left leg. And then we're gonna guide our right knee out and around our right rib cage. And you're either going to stay here, or you're going to explore a half dead bugs pose. So bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot and continue guiding that right knee to the outside of your right rib cage as you guide your right toes back towards your right shoulder. Or maybe you bend into your left knee and bring the sole of your left foot to the mat here. Either way, just exploring a deeper hip stretch here. It's sort of like lizard pose, but on your back. So again, maintain those connections. Make sure that the back of your head is nice and flat on the mat. Make sure that the backs of your shoulders are flat on the mat and that your low back is flat on the mat. And you should feel a little bit of pinching, a little bit of sensation in the front of that right hip. Letting that right hip flexor release. Take another deep inhale. And then exhale, hug both knees into your chest. Maybe give your right wrist a couple circles. And then we'll switch it out. Extend your right leg. And as you do, hug the muscles in the right leg to the bone. Press through the heel. And then press the back of that right leg into the mat as you flex the right toes back towards the knee. Guide the left knee out and around your rib cage, and then reach for the inside arch of your left foot. If you did so on the other side, half dead bugs pose. So again, nice deep opening in the front of the hips and in the piriformis, that little muscle in the outer left hip. And then with your entire backside body flat on the mat, breathe. And again, if you need to bend the right knee, bring the sole of the right foot to the mat. Bring the sole of the right foot to the mat. And this time on our inhale, we're going to bring the right leg in as well. Come in for full dead bugs pose. Happy baby, maybe rock side to side, maintain that connection, tailbone in the mat, backs of the shoulders in the mat, and use your elbows to press your knees open. Hug your knees in towards your chest, give yourself a big hug as you roll into a tight, tiny little ball, bringing your forehead towards your knees. Deep inhale of gratitude for yourself today. And an open mouth exhale, Shavasana, corpse pose. So hug your shoulder blades in towards one another, palms face up. Return to a natural rhythm of breath as you let yourself melt. Just fall into the mat. Let go of any control for the first time probably today. Just let yourself be. Let your thoughts come and go. If they enter into your mind, don't hold on to them. Just focus on your breath. And if you have the gift of time, and you'd like to stay longer, please just hit pause and stay in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. If you're ready to move on, just begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, rock your head side to side for that little massage for the back of your skull. Rock a couple times slowly. And with an inhale, extend your arms long overhead. And as you exhale, guide your low back into the mat and pull your belly button in and up. Just sort of a hollowing of your belly here. And then roll to your right side in that supported fetal position. So head resting on your bottom bicep, top palm resting on the earth. Take a nice deep inhale here. And exhale out some love, some gratitude for someone who might have helped you get on your mat today. Someone who supports you in your life, just like this ground supports us. And carefully press up to your cross-legged seat. Bring your thumbs to your third eye center, your center of intuition and knowledge. And today, as we get ready to step off of our mat, I want to invite you to come back to that thought of the space between emotion and reaction. And my task, my invitation for you for the remainder of the day is to practice space between emotion and reaction. And the best way we can do that is with a nice deep breath. Believe me, I have to take a lot of deep breaths every day, but it's those deep breaths on the mat that help us practice that space off the mat. Thank you for showing up. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste. Have a great rest of your day, guys.